Hey everyone, my name is James Woods and I'm the character designer at the Walt Disney Animation Studios. I joined the studio in 2017 to work on Frozen 2 and help design some of the newest characters like Bruni and the Nog. But today I'm going to be showing you how to draw one of my favourite characters from Disney's history that actually inspired me to want to draw here for a living, and that's the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. So we're going to be starting out with a blank piece of paper. You can use a pencil, or I'm using the computer here, so any type of black marker, and we're going to be doing the line straight out just because I'm not really a fan of doing underdrawings, but I'm going to start with the nostril here, swoop from the nostril into this kind of big plum nose shape, and I'm going to go up from the nose up to the brow, just so we know kind of where the features are going to be sitting on the face, and the other brow here is a happy exaggerated brow is going to do the eye, and then the left eye right here. These big round circles which are pretty close together. And from there I'm going to go into the mouth, which starts at the nostrils and then hooks around as this big smile with this little underbite, and this big exaggerated mouth shape. It's got these buck teeth, this little loose tongue. It's got this little kind of dimply chin here. And from there I'm going to draw in the cheek on the left side of the face, just to give it some volume. And the cheek is then going to have this big plume of hair erupting from the side of it, which is almost like this kind of untamed starburst shape. Lots of strays. And then I'm going to start to map in the ear just here as well. He's got this little pointy ear. And I'm going to move over now to this bottom bit, move over now to the other side of the face, just so we have his forms and volumes working. He's almost shaped a little bit like Olaf in a way. He's got, I'm going to draw the pupils in here. When you get the pupils in, that's really kind of putting life into the character. And looking out at us. I don't like this edge of the mouth, so I'm going to redraw it. It's got this little cheek dimple. Shows his age. Put in some eyelashes, just a little dark line, just to hint at it. And then I'm going to draw down the bottom of the face, which is going to go... I'm going to draw the side of the hair here quickly. So I'm moving quite quickly, but that's just how I tend to draw. I'm going to do the collar, which is this cone which wraps around the neck. From the collar into this little puffy bow tie that he has, and he has a little knot in the two big edges of the bows. And then I'm going to start to draw in his big top hat, starting with the brim, which kind of wraps around, goes into this horseshoe kind of dip. And from the brim of the hat, I'm going to work up into his top hat, which is this big, almost megaphone type shape. It's very exaggerated, stylized. It's got a band which wraps around it as well, so just think about that as this cylindrical shape. And he has this little card poking up the top of the brim, which I'm going to come back to later, but just wanted to map it in. Put these creases in the tie to make it look pillowy. And now I'm going to work into his little dress coat, which again is a shape that kind of mirrors the top hat. It's a little bit kind of bell-shaped and splayed. Because he's the Mad Hatter, he's going to be holding a cup of tea, because it is tea time. Let me just make room for this arm. And this arm is going to be extended up top. There's this little cuff. It's going to be holding this cup of tea. The hands are pretty difficult to draw, but I want you to just imagine his thumb and fingers wrapping around the teacup handle. So I'm going to map in that teacup handle here, just so I know what the fingers are going to be placed on. Here we go. There's his first fingers, his two middle. And then he's going to have this little pinky pointing up because it is tea time, and that's the only way you can drink tea. So edge of the handle, and I'm going to draw this curvy fantastical tea party cup. And since it's Alice in Wonderland, it's this kind of little fantastical shape. And don't worry about your lines being perfect here. I'm kind of mapping things in, because we're going to be able to erase the lines later and then change things around if we want. Now I'm going to move to the other side. Start to draw in his left arm, which I think is just going to be tucked behind him for the sake of speed in this drawing. Draw one side of his coat collar and the other side dipping down here, and just the underneath of his vest, just so he has some kind of torso. Just 2 buttons just to show the front of that vest. I'm drawing that collar, and now I just want to darken the eyes since we have his shape all kind of blocked in, and now I can work into areas that I want to show with more clarity and depth. I want to fill in the inside of his mouth because it's a big expressive shape, and I think it's going to draw attention to that area and be engaging for the viewer. Darken up some of these lines. And as I said, you can darken, you can erase. I know that I'm going to be editing some little areas here because I mapped in this drawing pretty quickly. And I'm somebody that doesn't really like to do an underdrawing because I feel like it takes the energy out of my line work, so I apologize if this has gone by a little quickly. Actually, I want to change the chin here just so it protrudes a little bit. You can see a little bit more form. There we go. And now I'm going to start to darken his eyebrows as well, since I darkened the inside of his mouth and his pupils. I think that's really going to bring clarity to his expression. Get some more stray hairs. Put that up. And on the other side as well. This collar is a little bit muddy, so I want to get rid of some of the lines inside. So I want to get rid of this line too, just again for clarity in his shape. And actually this line got pretty thick, so I think I just want to redo it very quickly. And you guys can follow along and do as much of that as you want with me as well. Just draw in top of the hat. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around this drawing and seeing areas that I want to tie down a little bit more, and you guys can do exactly the same with any part of the drawing. Any part you want to make darker, and he actually has this iconic 10/6 kind of place card on his hat, which actually I believe is the price of the hat. It's what, 10 shillings and 6 pence, which is a little bit of Disney trivia. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to put in some more of these lines around the face. Again, I'm just jumping around everywhere, so feel free to do the same with your drawing as well. It doesn't matter how perfect the line is. You can always erase areas and make it cleaner. And I think we pretty much have him all mapped in now. And next we're going to move into colour. I just want to tidy up some of these lines a little bit more still. The bottom of the coat here again. Drawing in that cuff. Luckily that hand's hidden because you wouldn't have time to do the second hand as well. And it makes it a little bit easier for both you and me. And I think we're pretty much there. Yep, that's pretty much him. Now we're going to move to colour. I'm going to speed through. I wanted to just tidy up some of these lines quickly, so I sped up the video here. It's just some of the areas which I think needed a bit more clarity. And so you can have a picture of the Mad Hatter opened up behind to see how his actual colours look, or you can be as creative as you want and give him any kind of colour that you want. You can change the colour of his coat or his hat, just have fun with it. I think it's always nice to throw in a little bit of colour just so we can see all of the shapes working together. And now this character was actually animated by Ward Kimball, who was one of Disney's 9 Old Men, and one of my favourite of the 9 Old Men actually. He did a lot more of the kind of graphic comical characters, and I don't know, I tend to gravitate towards that style a little bit more. And so this is the Mad Hatter. If you guys want to keep looking at the Disney Animation Instagram account, we'll be uploading more how-to draws with different artists from the studio. It's going to be lots to have fun with, so thank you so much.